Welcome to boardshop.co.uk, new surfboard time, something exciting, some boards we always look forward to. And when you get a new Tomo shape, it's a day of celebration. His new model, the Neutrino, with Firewire in the Ibolic construction, and it carries on the Tomo theme using the monoplaning hull technology, and we like it a lot. And we've had a demo for a couple of months, surfed it a bit through the end of last winter and through the start of this summer, and it's been a lot of fun to surf. So let's have a little spin around it. First thing you notice is that big choppy tail. As usual, as I said, it's got the monoplaning hull quad in quad set up through the base of the board, set up as a thruster. Rocker wise, it's pretty low rocker, pretty gentle rocker through the tail, starts around about here. Same with the nose, fairly gentle rocker, and then you've got this little bit of flip to help you with steeper drops, etc, etc. And this outline with the parallel kind of feel to it, and that slightly generous wider nose, with the monoplaning hull gives you great paddling. So the board is sold as a groveler, but for most people it's going to work in 75–80% of the conditions you get on a day-to-day basis. Anything from thigh to shoulder head high, and it's going to be fun and functional to surf. So the specific features. The monoplaning hull, if you know about Tomo boards, you know that this generates lift very quickly, which generates speed. All Tomo boards are pretty fast to surf, and they generate speed really nicely even in poor conditions. What we noticed is that when you're surfing it, when you pop up and start taking off on the wave, it has instant glide and it has instant acceleration. And with the parallel rail set up and that choppy tail, it keeps the speed really well and it holds the speed, so it works really well if it's a bit choppy, windy, or conditions are sub-prime. So as I said, it's set up as a groveler, but it will work in anything up from thigh to about head high, and it is really fun to surf. Now, that chopped tail puts a lot of people off straight away until you surf it, and then you realise what it kind of does for you. It's a big factor in helping carry that speed, and actually it releases into turns like really easily, and that's to do with the parallel rail setup and how the dynamics of the board work like that with this monoplaning hull setup. So what you've got is a board that you can surf relatively short, as with a lot of Tomo models, like my old Evo there. You can sell it relatively short, and the benefit of surfing it in a shorter length is you've got less swing weight, so the board is easier to get turning, and your turns feel a bit snappier and a bit more dynamic. So if you're in the market for a board for those conditions, as I said, thigh to head high, even if it's not perfectly lined up, then this board is speedy, responsive, and a lot of fun to surf. We surfed it as a thruster with the Firewire V-Lox fins, which are pretty stiff, and they worked really nicely. Size-wise, it comes from tiny up to about 6'2", and the 6'2" packs in 40+ litres. The 5'8" is 90 3/4, 2 5/8, and 33.3 litres. Then there's a little jump up to the 5'10", which is just over 36 litres. But as with all Tomo boards, if you're a Tomo fan already, you know about them, you know how they work, you're going to want one because they're fun to surf. If you haven't tried a Tomo board before and you want something that's suited to our conditions, then the Neutrino is a really good starting spot. You can't get Evos or Revos anymore, Firewire have discontinued them, and this board kind of carries on the mantle that they delivered. Speedy, goes in average conditions, and like I said, fun to surf. That speed factor is really important because, as I said, when you take off you feel that instant glide and speed, and what the speed gives you is stability, and the faster you go the easier it is to get the board turning. So that speed factor is a really crucial part of why Tomo uses the monoplaning hull setup in all his boards. And that parallel outline, as I said, that helps as well with the drive and the speed generating part of the board. So there it is. The Neutrino in the Ibolic technology from Firewire, which is a great, really dynamic epoxy feel, which gives you far more kind of fizz in your turns, and it really helps carry speed out of your turns as well. It's a proven technology, it's nice and tough. You've got two layers of 4 ounce on the bottom and the top, with the laminate on top on the deck to give you that extra durability. And this construction is more durable than PU and some other epoxy techs out there, so it works really well. As always, it's online. You can get us on the phone for advice or email us. You can also trade in old boards against it. Buy on 0% finance. We now offer Klarna as well. So there's a myriad of options to make that purchase a little bit easier. And like I said, any questions, just get in touch. The FirewireNeutrino with Tomo, we like it.